Hi everyone, it's Nicolette back again with another Japanese build. And wow, guys, we are on finals. That's the last one of the Japanese village, which I was like, not even village but country, which I was building. So if you are back again, then and if you enjoyed this video, then please hit the like button. And if you have not yet, then please click subscribe and follow me on my journey. From next week, we're gonna move on to another country. I still like keep it sort of in a secret, but I'm gonna see how it works out. I've already started the build, one of them, so let's hope it's gonna be just as exciting as Japan. But now here back, it's the 16th video, and that's the last plot which I had to fill in Brindleton Bay. So this time I've selected, I was thinking a lot what to build as a last piece. I wanted some residential building, but I was like, okay, yeah, I have like 3 Japanese houses, so it's possibly not that interesting any longer. So I've selected a castle, I guess. So let's get on to it because it will be a little bit longer video than what I usually do. But I'm hoping, guys, you're gonna stay around until the end. If you don't want to watch the whole speed build, then feel free to just like go onward and check the walkthrough. But I'm hoping that you can stay and check how I built this whole stronghold. So the original build is called Matsumoto Castle, and that one functioned as a stronghold castle. So you're gonna see that I have not added lots of huge windows, etc., and it's not quite airy from the outside, but from the inside there are like quite a lot of space to live and enjoy the life. So the main build, it took me like a little bit to figure out because there are only 3 pictures, like 3 main pictures which you can find on Google about Matsumoto Castle outside, but it's a bit confusing how it built. So actually what I figured out that there are 2 side builds. There is a main build and there is also an additional, I guess it was built a little bit later because there is an additional house or building which looks different from the whole castle, so I guess it just been added on later on. So one side of the castle, as you can see, like the front part will have some gardens around, and the back part will have water because it's a stronghold and it was literally surrounded by this water. So it was a bit of challenge to put around, but in the end it worked out pretty well. So I was quite happy how it turned out in the end. But now back onto the house. As you can see, I'm building the 3 main buildings, and then I've added the additional bit. And with the roofs, guys, I spent hours and hours to work out the roofs. There are still a few bits which I'm not absolutely happy with, but that's how it is. I've managed to put it like more or less together, and it does look similarish to the original building, so it's okay. It is acceptable from me. You know, guys, if you were here for a longer time, that I'm not the best roofer, but it's still like, I think I've from the first video which I uploaded, I am pretty sure that I hit the spot with the roofs, and they turned out a lot more livable. They literally look alike on the picture and not just like put together roofs. So yeah, a little spat on my shoulder, and then I've carried on and added more and more roofs. And we're trying to figure out how to make it look good. I also added some features on these roofs. I have not used a lot of features. If you watch back my past videos, you're gonna see that sometimes I've used them, but not a lot. Even in Japanese buildings, you would see quite a lot of these features. But even on this castle, The problem was that the roofs are decorated from the bottom side, like their sides. And even I was out for CC shopping for hours, I could have not found anything with the design, so I just had to leave it as it is. And then I'm in the coloring of the outside walls. Now with the walls I had a little bit of play around. I've used my usual go for wallpapers with the bottom wood, but I actually figured out that on the photo you can see that this whole building is blue instead of the additional building. So I went for CC shopping again and got some blue paneling wallpaper or like walls. And also on the photo I've realized that on the street level, it's not quite the street level, as you can see that this is like quite a lifted up building, but on the bottom flight of the castle you don't actually see windows. They are just like opened up rain covers, or I'm not sure how to actually call them, but I really wanted to add that feature. So I was playing around off camera and I came up with the best solution of adding roofs as windows, but because they don't have like basement, or they don't have anything underneath them, I could have not deleted the walls from the inside of the building, so therefore they are not actually functioning as windows. But I've started to add windows from the inside. You're gonna see that I've added quite a few of them, so I still have some natural lights, but it is not actually look like how the building should be, because these should be just like flaps. I think that's the best word to explain. And then I'm adding the windows now on this building. You're gonna see in the future as well, I had so many glitches with the windows that I cannot even tell you the amount. And even on the gameplay, once I've tested the castle, the windows were off, they were blind. I was keep changing them, trying to get them back to life, and it's still a few of them just went blind, which I'm not quite sure why is it happening, because I have not even placed them too close to each other. I kept quite a bit of space, but it's still like some of them just gone blind. So as you can see now, I'm placing the windows behind these flaps, so it's because of the game structure, it still gives me natural light, so I was happy to have it around, but they should be like open things. And I guess like if there was an attack coming in, then these flaps would have been closed down, and that's how they would protect themselves. Although around the whole castle they have not quite used, like there were a few windows, but mainly they were just like shooting holes. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but like they were just holes where you can pop your weapon out, and then you can literally protect the castle. But obviously there are no such holes in Sims, so I had to go with teeny tiny windows and just keep it as it is. So here we have I've gone with a fountain this time, not a pool, around the castle. I could have not pulled it until this, like to the side of the building, because then these additional roofs were keep like disappearing and getting deleted. So I was like, no, they just like that's gonna be it. And then I've gone on to the front part of the building with the little park area. It's nothing really special on the photos, to be honest, but because this is my last build, I really wanted to like spice it up a bit. So you're gonna see that I'm adding trees, I'm adding flowers, I'm adding lots of things, but obviously because it is a castle and it's a stronghold castle, so I don't think they were like in a true life they would really worried about how it looks like the background. It was rather just like functional, and then whatever grow there, they grown there. So it's not like any other Japanese gardens where you can see that all the plants are carefully selected and placed where they are. Although there is no Zen Garden around this castle, so I was safe. If you've seen my last video where I had to like delete half of the garden and build a Zen Garden after I realized that, oh, actually there should have been one. Yeah, so that's why on this occasion I had no issues with Zen Gardens. It's just purely plants growing around. I went with the same trees to the front, and at the back I've added different trees. But on here it was just easier because I had to shrink them down to fit quite a lot of them, and with the other type of trees it would have been really crumbled, and because their leaf starts right at the bottom, then I could have not really had the path area. So these trees were working out absolutely fine, and then I'm adding a bit of like grass and flowers and everything just to fill up the space and make it still like not really like manicured garden. It's just like grown as it is around the fences. So here you can see like just adding going crazy. But if you watch my previous videos, and you know that I'm a little bit crazy of planting around the buildings. I feel like I just need to add more and more to make it look like really nice. And also again I'm using my new terrain skills thanks for Sim's Grand Design, which I referenced him quite a lot of times, and I'm keep going back to tell you guys to definitely make sure that you do check him out, because his tutorials are amazing. You can learn quite a lot of him from those tutorials. So that's how I spice up my building knowledge. Now in here at the back I'm placing the same fences from debug items what the original plot came with on the side, and then after like half an hour digging in debug items, I have managed to find these bridges, which ones, as far as I remember, not even debug items, but hey, so it took me a while. I cut out quite a bit of footage, but I've managed to find these bridges because on the photos of Matsumoto Castle, if you check it, there is a red bridge around. Not this curved one, but like, hey, that's absolutely gonna make it for me. I guess this bridge just came a little bit later for the tourists, but I quite like the feeling of the red bridges in Japan. And because I have not managed to fit any of them into any of my builds, so I've decided like this is the time I have to have them on the plot. So again, we are done with the outside, more or less. You might see a few more plants going in, but yeah, then I've gone on to the inside of the castle. Now I do struggle with stairs a lot. I don't know why is it happening, and whenever I'm trying, like I'm watching a lot of other YouTubers, and they build amazing like going on the top of like stair on the top of the stair. I've done it this time, and then on the gameplay it failed, so I had to move the stairs around, and then therefore they are just wonky. But I've decided because it's an old castle, it's a traditional castle, it can be wonky. I don't care about it any longer. So when the walkthrough will be, you might notice that the stairs had to be moved around. With the wallpapering, first I went with my standard ones, and then I've changed them onto these black and white stripped ones. And I felt like I'm not gonna just like fill it up as it is, so the strips are like quite far from each other, but it does really look like how the castle looked like from the inside. And then another challenge, like you can see now I'm struggling with the stairs around to try to fit them on the top of each other. I managed it, but it, like my sim said, like, no, I'm not going upstairs, so yeah. And then again, around the stairs, I thought like, oh, let's delete the floor. Nope, because it deletes the whole floor, so I'm just going in and out, can't do it, so I left it as it is. I thought like whatever, I'm just gonna decorate around the stairs. But later on I had a genius idea, you're gonna see. And then I need to move some plants around because everything is sticking in. Still, when I was testing the castle, there was a tree which is sticking into the building, the one just right in front of it, so I had to move it around as well. But then it worked out pretty neatly, so I was okay with a few leaves in the castle. Now on here, still like back on the wallpapering, I've added a bit more features, and as you can see there are quite a bit of rooms, but don't you worry because I'm not gonna, like, I have not gone crazy with the decoration. I felt like it's a castle, we don't have to clutter it up as crazy because it's a huge building. I would have added like tons of stuff and it would be like a 1.5 hour long video. But I felt like this castle does not really need me to clutter it up. So I've just added these columns are existing. Like if you Google Matsumoto Castle and if you check how it looks like from the inside, they have these columns, these poles around. So I had to figure out how it looks okay, and then more or less it's like, I guess it's just like a supporting for the room on the top of that room, because that's quite a big room, so I guess it required some supports. I have not added any more of them, so on this in the side buildings you won't see these poles. I'm not sure whether in the original build you might see them, but yeah, I've just like, I thought like it was enough in that main room. And then I'm adding the kitchen. As usual, I just realized that these counters coming in different shapes and sizes, so I've added first just like I've gone around, but then I thought like okay, I can use different ones, so it just spice up the look, and they don't really have to be like a neat modern kitchen, because it is not a modern kitchen in the end of the day. And I went with that squared table as a diner table. Then in the entrance I've placed my samurai, which is a box bag, but it really looked like that place just needed that samurai for sure. And then I've added a little tea room, or it's a diner, however you prefer it. I think it is rather just an area where you can sit down, have a drink or a tea. I've added a tea brewer as well, so it's ready to roll. And then I've built a sort of a library lounge thing. That's the only case where I'm actually using couches instead of the Japanese style couches, but they really fit into the interior, so I was like, yeah, I think I can go with them. I'm not sure whether they would have existed in the traditional life, but I was like, yeah, let's go with them. And then bed-wise, I've changed my mind a couple of times. I've used these futon beds, but they are only single beds, and I think into this house I might well move into a little bit bigger family rather than just two. So I've changed them onto double beds. And then I found my Japanese beds, so I've changed them onto those later on, because this place was shouting out for traditional Japanese beds instead of like having these sort of a little bit modern look-alike Japanese beds. So yeah. Now, regards to the bathroom, this time I was keen on and focusing on not to put the loo into the bathroom, so I realized there is nowhere for me to place the loo, so I had to figure out a little trick on that one. But the bathroom, it is like, it's an emperor one. I love it. I've added every single luxury features. They have shower, they have this amazing bath, which is a CC, I'm afraid. So if you wanted to have it, you have to download that one for yourself. But I just loved it how it turned out. I wish in my life I would have one of these bathrooms. I don't think I would actually leave my bathroom in my life anymore, unless I need to go out to buy some new lotuses or something like that. So on here, with these rooms, like these middle rooms, they are not quite functional, they are decorative. I guess you can sit around, have a chat or something. And in the middle of the building, on the top room, I thought that's gonna be my Buddha shrine, I guess. So I've added statues on here. I've added the necessarily flowers around them, because they always have to have some flowers around, decorated around, and I've added 2 meditation stools as well. So my Sims can just pop upstairs and have their little meditation up there with in a quiet place. Obviously there are, as I said, like there are no huge windows, so they can't really enjoy the outside, but it's still, I think it is quite a decorative room, so I was happy how it turned out. And then upstairs, as you can see, then I've added some traditional couches, like traditional Japanese couches, and into the little corner, which I left out because I was unable to delete the floor. That's where we are. That's where the loo gone, and I've added another loo upstairs as well, because it's such a massive building. It takes ages until the Sims walking around, so I thought it is safer to have 2 of the loos, especially as I have 2 beds. So I thought it is like a bit more easier for them. So here we go, guys. That's our last Japanese build, at least for now. I am really hoping that you followed my journey across here and you liked my build. And please leave a comment below, because I do really want to hear back from you. Anything what you feel or like, please leave it underneath. And if you wanted to create some Sims for me, because I'm in a desperate need for Sims, please upload them onto the gallery and add hashtag #NicoletteJapanese, and then I'm hoping to get them into my gameplay. Now you have a lovely day, guys. Bye!